60% of men are single nowadays. More than 50% of men haven't approached a single woman in the last year, 2023. And more than 30% of men have not had shaboing in 2023. Man, what the hell is going on? Why are so many men struggling to attract women or create deeper connections with women? Is it because they don't drive a Lambo? Is it because they don't have a Rolex? Or they don't have 6 inches? Or they're not 6 feet tall? No, man. It's deeper than that, man. Trust me. Let me explain to you the three main reasons why so many men struggle to attract feminine women, or any women for that matter, nowadays. First of all, man, I think what's happening is we have an over horny culture of men with, unfortunately, too easy access to corn. This overstimulation and easy access to corn completely depletes men of their life force. Let me ask you this: how often have you beaten your meat and then felt full of shame, felt tired, lonely, almost guilty, or just depleted the next day, even, or just right after? And this easy access to corn essentially teaches your mind to like go the easy path, go down the easy route and not put in any effort. And it's actually not even your fault, because this is how our brain is wired. Our brain is wired to go the path of least resistance, because that's how we save energy. Our brain is the croc brain, I call it the crocodile brain, which is the reptile brain, which has been developed like hundreds of thousands of years, or like thousands and thousands of years ago, where food wasn't um like omnipresent, right? We had to hunt for food. Obviously, we wanted to preserve our energy. But man, nowadays this is coming back at us in in the most negative way. So I see too many men like being obsessing over women on a screen, instead of actually going out there and making an effort to approach a woman, or even if you want to use the apps, try to attract women through apps. And it's because for them, their mindset is, oh, I can just go on cornhub.com or subscribe to my virtual girlfriend, and then I create that connection. But you create essentially an illusion of connection with that pixel woman in front of you, who doesn't even care about you, who doesn't even remember you. It's crazy, man. And this essentially teaches your mind to not put any effort in. And because you beat your meat and spread your life force all over the place or into your tissue, you essentially make yourself more unattractive, because first, you become lazy. Second, women feel when you do this stuff, and women are suckers for energy. And the more you beat the more you beat your meat, the more you deprive yourself of that life force and energy, and put yourself into the very low frequency. And guess what? You attract what you are, man. So the lower your frequency, the lower the frequency of the people that you attract in your life. It's simple physics, man. Simple as that. So aside from corn, what else makes men so unattractive nowadays, and what makes men so like socially anxious? And actually, I want to finish like there's one more point I want to add to this corn debate. Like, so many men say like, oh, I'm single by choice. I don't want women in my life. But bro, like, nature has designed you to reproduce. You're essentially saying that nature is wrong, that you are right, and you shouldn't reproduce. You shouldn't strive to have a connection. Man, every woman mentally stable and every man mentally stable wants a connection. You just are coping hard because it's too hard to admit that you're struggling to attract that kind of woman in your life. And the reason why so many men, aside from corn, struggle to attract this woman in their life is, man, and I've been there myself, man, is because we've been taught to be this nice guy. Society has been conditioning us to say the right things, to be the good boy, not to speak up, not to be loud, not to take any risks, and see women as more than human beings, as goddesses. And I was raised as the Mr. Nice Guy. My grandma raised me, man. And my parents rejected me at birth. And I developed this crazy fear of abandonment, fear of um what's it called? Fear of abandonment, and this anxiety of like getting hurt again, getting rejected, fear of rejection. That's the word I was looking for. I developed that because I found out that my parents rejected me at birth. They didn't want me. And I thought, okay, if my parents can't love me, then I am unlovable, right? And so I was conditioned to be this nice guy who should women at a pedestal, who should put women on a pedestal to um, make up for the bad things that the really bad men in the previous generations did. But that is the complete wrong conditioning, right? Because we know, you and I, we know that women don't want the nice guy. They hate nice guys. Because they know, and I know it myself as well. Nice guys are toxic as hell. They put on a persona to impress a woman just to get into her panties, and when she realizes that you're just playing games and also lack the authenticity and the confidence to actually be attractive, she's going to be like, no, leave me alone. I don't want you. So I'm actually like the nice guy syndrome that's been conditioned into us through Walt Disney, sitcoms like Friends, How I Met Your Mother, the Avengers nowadays, the Marvel Universe. All of this nice guy behavior has like taught us men to be absolute feminine. And that is another reason why so many men struggle to attract women nowadays, is because we lack this connection to our wild man. We are so afraid to be ourselves. We are so, because of the Me Too movement, we are constantly being attacked of being a man. Anything that's remotely masculine is supposed to be toxic and bad, which is not, because society forgets that women's primary desires haven't changed. They want safety, they want security, and they want to be wild. Girls just want to have fun is a popular song for a reason. So, my man, if you are suffering from this nice guy syndrome, man, like, you gotta ditch this, man. You can do this through. You can go to therapy, man. You can do shadow work. You can do like one crazy exercise that helped me a lot was writing down my entire life story from the day I was like my first memory till today. Any trauma, like any difficult situation that I experienced, any things I'm proud of, anything. I wrote down 60 pages, and there was so much stuff coming up, and it helped me really realize, like, man, so many conditions, so many behaviors and patterns I see today in my life are a result of how I was conditioned and programmed by my grandma, by society, by the movies and sitcoms I watched. And that also leads me to the third thing, the third reason, not thing, the third reason why so many men struggle to attract women nowadays is because I sort of touched on it. The trauma that we experience in our childhood. I notice a lot from, I think there's two kinds of traumas that the like men experience a lot across the world. In the West, I think it's a lot from controlling mothers and an absent father. So that's why a lot of men in Spain, in US, like in the Latin countries, a lot of men are mama boys. In the US, in the UK, the same. The culture is like preaching us to be the good boy. And in the Middle East and in the Eastern countries, I see that the parents are completely emotionally like the West is essentially overwhelming men with emotions, and in the East, men are deprived of emotions. So there's a lot of physical abuse, there's a lot of emotional neglect from parents towards their children, and because of that, a lot of men develop fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, low self-worth, not feeling good enough, not having the confidence in themselves because your dad never told you that he loves you, your mom never told you that you're a good boy, that you've only been praised because you're when you had good grades, right? These are all the things that impact your level of attraction, because further down the line you take on this belief system of not being good enough unless you deliver, unless you people please, unless you validate someone. You take that with you into your further life, right? When you get older, and you manifest and strengthen that muscle in your mind or the belief in your mind, right? Like it's the same as if you go to the gym. The more you do like a repetition, or the more bench press, the more you bench press, the stronger your muscle becomes, right? And it's the same in your mind. The more you reinforce the belief of not being good enough, the stronger that belief becomes. And that essentially then deprives you of all the confidence. And then when you see women, you're socially awkward because you don't believe in yourself. And I often see that. I always say women are your mirror. And I see that with a lot of guys that I coach who come into my coaching and they realize like all the stuff they've been brought up with, they've been raised with, they've been taught are absolute lies. And there's this quote: a man has two lives. And the second life, like his second life starts when he finds out that he only has one life. And that is what this quote really hits home, because it shows that so many men live with a mask on until they realize the mask they've put on is not themselves. And I want you to take away from this that if you are struggling to attract women, man, don't blame women, don't blame anyone else. Don't blame your parents, don't blame yourself. Simply get up and work on yourself, because there's nothing more special than a true connection with the right woman. And trust me, man, they are out there. They are really out there.